Namaste. My name is JVN Manisha Singh, Assistant Professor in Faculty of Agriculture and Veterinary Sciences under Department of Food and Biotechnology in Jyoti Vidyapeeth Women's University, Jaipur. Today, I am teaching you subject Fruits and Vegetable Processing Technology and for class BSc FND 4th semester and BTech MTech FPT 4th semester. In our previous session, I discussed all about the post-harvest changes and how to increase the shelf life of the fruits and vegetable during post-harvest, after post-harvesting, and its storage and its transportation. So in today's session, we will discuss about the cold chain and low temperature preservation of fruits and vegetable. Now, let's start with the topic. So first of all, we need to know about the how much production and what is the post-harvest scenario of fruits and vegetable. So agriculture contributes about 16% of GDP, employs 57% workforce, and sustains approx over 70% of the population. India produces about 265 million tons of fruits and vegetables and ranks second in the world. Post-harvest losses are 3 to 18%, amounting to rupees 45,000 crores. Low level of processing of fruits and vegetables at only 2%, mainly due to the perishability and unprocessable varieties. Food processing is employment intensive and creates 1.8 jobs directly and 6.4 lakhs indirectly for every rupees 10 lakh investment. Then high value products from the waste from fruits and vegetable like pectin from fruit and vegetable peels, lycopene from tomato peel and oil from that seeds, biocolor from arhar husk and used flowers, a low calorie sweetener that is xylitol from corn cob and bagasse, beta amylase and xylanase from cereal bran and husk, enzymes like protease, lactase, peroxidase, and polyphenol oxidase from green gram husk and beet germ, gelatin or peptides from slaughterhouse waste, dietary fibers from fruit pomace, bioplastics from tapioca, and antioxidants and phenolic compounds from cereals and cereal brands and pearls husk. Now, the integrated cold chain primary segment is first we need to washing and cooling the fresh produce. After that, cool or cold storage that is short or the long term warehousing of chilled or frozen conditions. And then we have a step that is distribution. Basically, distribution is done under cold transport and temporary warehousing under temperature controlled condition. After that, there is a marketing that is refrigerated or freezer storage and displays at wholesale markets, retail markets, and food service operations. Okay, so what is the benefits of cooling of horticulture produce? It basically reduces the respiration, lessens perishability, reduces transpiration, which lessens water loss and less shriveling. Then it also reduces ethylene production, and due to reduction of ethylene production, slow ripening is shown. Then it also increases resistance to ethylene action, and it also decreases the activity of microorganisms. And cooling of horticulture produce also reduces browning and loss of texture, flavor, and nutrients. And it also delays the ripening and natural senescence. Okay, then pre-cooling methods and steps. For cold, pre-cooling system is done in both small scale and large scale. For small scale, pre-cooling is done by portable forced air or cooling systems. But in large scale, there is a vacuum cooling, forced air cooling, hydro cooling, etc. is used. For cold storage, for small scale, there is a walk-in cold rooms. And for large scale, there are refrigerated warehouses. Okay. For processing and chilling or freezing, there is a direct expansion chilling of bulk milk, instant chilling milk. For large scale, there is a blast freezing, that is IQF, and vacuum cooling of packaged meats. For refrigerated transport, there are various types of small scale. There is a various types of transports are available, and for large scale, there is a reefer vans, refrigerated marine containers, refrigerated intermodal containers for road, train, and sea shipping. Okay. Then storage life under ambient condition and a cool chamber. For example, bitter gourd in the month of May and June, it will store for 2 days in ambient condition, but in cool chamber, its shelf life is increases up to 6 days. Okay. For carrot in the month of Feb and March, storage life under ambient condition is 5 days, but under cool chamber, it is 12 days. Same for the cucumbers, that it is 3 days for under ambient condition, and under cool chamber it is 8 days. Then green chilies, it is 3 at ambient temperature, and under cool chamber it is 6 days. Then quinoa in the month of January and March, the ambient condition, under ambient condition, its storage life is 8 days, but under cool chamber its storage life is 60 days. For mangoes, it is in the month of July, the ambient conditions, under ambient condition, the storage life is 8 days, but under cool chamber, its condition, its storage life is 15 days. Okay. For spinach, the under ambient condition, its storage life is 3 days, but for cool chamber, its storage life is 8 days. Okay. Then equipments and gadgets required for cool chain. There is a mobile cool chamber, which is the insulated box was designed such that it could hold 8 plastic turrets of size 540 into 360 into 265 in 2 layers of 4 each. Capacity of storage was 100 kg of fruit with 80% filling of each plastic crates. Then cost around rupees 18,000 to 20,000. Low cost unit saves the fruits from exposure to sunlight and preserves the quality. Next is the refrigerated transport. Further, a refrigeration unit is mounted on top for cooling the solution of ethylene glycol and salt stored in the jacket of insulated box. This solution is cooled to sub-zero temperature by running the refrigeration unit by plugging to power source for 8 to 10 hours before use. The refrigerated transport vehicle can lower the product temperature up to 5 degrees Celsius, and the voltage of compressor is 0.65 kilowatts. Then we use ventilated rail transport. Ventilated rail cars have been developed by NHB, where the slotted holes were provided on front bottom, front and rear ends to accommodate vertical forced air and natural convection due to the holes at the bottom. At least 15% of total floor area was perforated, and labyrinths provided for the protection from rain wherever essential. The design provides 5% area at the bottom and 10% area on the top at both front and rear ends. The rail transports and the material are fresh over very long distances. Okay, then evaporatively cooled room for storage of fruits and vegetables. The evaporatively cooled room, that is 3 into 3 into 3 meter size, was developed for on-farm storage of fruits and vegetables. The summer temperature inside the EC room was 5 to 8 degrees Celsius lower than that inside the ordinary room, and the winter temperature was 5 to 8 degrees Celsius higher than that inside the ordinary room. Compared on the basis of 10% physiological loss in water, loss in weight, the shelf life inside the room was 34 days for early quinoa and 23 days for late quinoa, 11 days for cauliflower and 4 days for spinach, as compared to 21, 11, 5 and 2 days respectively in an ordinary room at the same time. The cost of the chamber is rupees 75,000 and capacity is 2 tons. Then evaporative cool storage structure. Storage of fruits and vegetable and evaporatively cooled structure maintains a moderate low temperature and sufficiently high relative humidity for short-term storage of fresh fruits and vegetables. Advantages are low level consumption of electricity, less initial investment, negligible maintenance cost. Then features of this storage structure is it has a special design of roof and orientation, uses wetted pads as cooling medium, 20 degrees Celsius below the outside temperature, and an ECS of about 5 to 7 tons storage capacity may cost about rupees 1.5 to 1.8 lakhs. Then earth tubes for cooling. Earth tubes is a passive heating and cooling technique that uses the constant 50-degree Fahrenheit temperature of the earth to preheat incoming air in the winter and pre-cool incoming air in the summer by passing the air through tubes buried under the earth. Okay, and this is an ancient technique used for thousands of years, and it is best suited for climates that have extreme weather conditions, extreme heat and cold. Use of this system reduces the energy demands for cooling and heating the structure and creates better and healthier indoor air environments than the conventional systems. Then the system provides 67% of the energy required to heat and cool the required exchanged air. The tube length should be maximum of 80 feet as the majority of the heat transfer occurs in first 80 to 100 feet of tube. Avoid draining any roof or ground areas into the area of the earth tubes. The material of tubes matter little as long as they are not insulated because the thickness of the material absorbing the heat is actually the tube plus the ground around the tube. Next is refrigerated cold storage. Cold storage rooms are made by polyurethane foam having density of 40 plus minus 2 kg per cubic meter. Flooring is either bare slab and concrete or aluminium checkered with plywood. Cladding of the PUF is with 0.5 to 0.6 mm pre-painted galvanized iron PPGI. Any other cladding with stainless steel, aluminium, and can also be provided. The facilities in a cold chain are composed of pre-coolers, packaging houses, and cold storage rooms and truck for transport. Pre-coolers to remove the field heat rapidly right after harvesting to acquire desired conditions. Then the packing houses used to prepare the vegetables by trimming and cleaning and sorting defective products. Next is the cold storages to maintain vegetables at high quality as produced. Then after comes refrigerated trucks, container vans and collect to the transport. Now let's come to the low temperature preservation. Okay, for that cold storage is also the part of low temperature preservation, and under this preservation of low temperature, there is two: refrigeration or chilling and freezing. Okay, the use of low temperature to preserve foods is based upon the fact that the activities of foodborne microorganisms and enzyme reactions can be slowed down and or stopped at temperatures above the freezing and generally stopped at sub-freezing temperatures. Low temperatures can be produced by the refrigeration or chilling and by the freezing. Okay, but what is chilling? Preservation of foods at temperatures above freezing or below 15 degrees Celsius is known as refrigeration or chilling. It is used to reduce the rate of biochemical and microbiological changes and hence to extend the shelf life of fresh fruits and vegetables. It causes minimal changes to sensory characteristics and nutritional properties of foods. Chilling retards the growth of microorganisms, post-harvest and post-slaughter metabolic activities of plant and animal tissues, respectively, deteriorative chemical reactions, including enzyme-catalyzed oxidative browning or oxidation of lipids, and chemical changes associated with color degradation, autolysis of fish and loss of nutritive value of foods, and the moisture loss. Then categories of chilled foods are according to the storage temperature range. -1 degree Celsius to 1 degree Celsius is used for fresh fish, meat, sausages, smoked meat, and ground meat. 0 degree Celsius to 5 degree Celsius is used for pasteurized milk, canned meat, cream, yogurt, salad, sandwiches, baked foods, soups, and sauces. 0 degree Celsius to 8 degree Celsius is used for soft fruits and fruit juices, cooked rice, hard cheese, and butter. Chilling equipments are mechanical refrigerator and cryogenic systems. So for mechanical refrigerators have four basic elements: an evaporator, a compressor, a condenser, and an expansion valve. A refrigerant circulates between the four elements of the refrigerator, changing state from liquid to gas and back to the liquid. Okay. Then in cryogenic system, cryogenic chillers use solid carbon dioxide, liquid carbon dioxide, and liquid nitrogen. Solid carbon dioxide removes the latent heat of sublimation, and liquid cryogens remove the latent heat of vaporization. Then what is the effect on food? The most significant effect of chilling on the sensory characteristics of processed foods is hardening due to the solidification of fats and oils. Other effects include the enzymatic browning, lipolysis, color and flavor deterioration, and retrogradation of starch to cause staling of bread, protein denaturation, and vitamin degradation. The desirable consequences of chilling temperature. Growth of mesophilic and thermophilic microbes is greatly retarded at chilling temperature. Psychotrophic microorganisms grow well in the range of 0 degrees Celsius to 15 degrees Celsius, but is much slower in this range. And rate of respiration and ripening usually declines as the temperature is reduced below the 4 degrees Celsius in case of climacteric fruits. Then undesirable consequences of chilling temperature are cold shortening. Animal muscle which is exposed immediately after slaughter can undergo a detrimental occurrence known as cold shortening, and it is promptly cooled to a temperature range of 0 degrees Celsius to 5 degrees Celsius. Then chilling injury. A substantial number of fruits and vegetables, especially those of tropical or subtropical origin, example is banana, develop a physiological disorder when exposed to the temperature but above the freezing temperature. Then there is a super chilling. Super chilling is one of the methods that can be used to maintain food products at a low temperature. Generally, super chilling is positioned between freezing and refrigeration, where the surrounding temperature is set below the initial freezing point. It is a process by which the temperature of a food product is lowered to -1 to -4 degrees Celsius by means of slurry ice or in super chilled chambers without ice. Then what is the definition of super chilling? Super chilling is that where temperature of food is maintained below 0 degrees Celsius, but ice crystals are not generated. Super chilling is defined as a technology where food is stored just below the initial freezing temperature. Okay. Shelf life aspects in relation to super chilling technologies are that is super chilling of fish with the reduction of temperature from -1 degree Celsius to -3 degrees Celsius, the shelf life increased from 21 to 35 days. For super chilled salmon, shelf life doubled at storage temperature of -1.4 to -3.6 degrees Celsius compared to ice chilled storage with respect to microbial and chemical analysis. Then super chilled pork roasts. Shelf life of at least 16 weeks compared to 2 weeks for the super chilled products. Next is preservation by freezing. Definition of freezing is that it is the unit operation in which the temperature of food is reduced below its freezing point, and as a proportion of the water undergoes a change in the states from ice crystals. Then freezing process is a combination of the beneficial effects of low temperature at which microorganisms cannot grow. Chemical changes are reduced and cellular metabolic reactions are delayed. Then what is the theory of freezing? First of all, sensible heat is removed to the lower temperature of the food to the freezing point. Heat produced by the respiration in case of fresh foods is also removed. Then latent heat of crystallization is removed to form the ice crystal. And the latent heat of crystallization of other components of food, for example, fats, protein, is also removed. Then there are various freezing techniques. For example, number one is plate freezing. Product is pressed. Product is pressed between the hollow metal plates, either horizontal or either vertical, with the refrigerant circulating inside the plate. Okay, then that the refrigerant, the heat transfer is done in between. There is a food product, and that plates have passes the refrigerant, and the heat transfer takes place. Then immersion freezing. Food can be frozen rapidly by direct immersion in liquid such as brine, syrup, glycerol, etc. at low temperature, that is minus 18 degree Celsius. Immersion freezing, as the word suggests, that there is a tank, huge tank, in which there is that was filled with the brine, syrup, or glycerol, and you just dip your or immerse your food product, and then you are getting frozen food. Then cabinet freezing. As a word suggests, there is a cabinet in which air is circulated, cold air is circulated within a cabinet, and you were put your product in a tray, and that was freezed. Then air blast freezing, as the name suggests, air blast, there is a high velocity air is moving around the cabinet. That refers to the vigorous circulation of cold air in order to freeze the product. Air temperature is approximately minus 18 to minus 34 degrees Celsius, and the flow of air is, or the velocity of air is 5 meter per second at least. Then fluidized bed freezing, air is forced upward through the perforated belt to partially fit or suspended particles. In this, there is a perforated belt or a tray over which the food products are placed, and that is small particles foods are placed over that. Basically, peas, cutted pieces of cauliflower, etc. And air is passed through these holes, and they are moving in the upward direction. So these peas or the food grains are in the tumbling motion, and they are freezing in the air as well. So they are frozen individually, and it is also known as individual quick freezing. Okay, then tunnel freezing. As the name suggests, there is a tunnel or product on trays are placed in a racks or trolleys and frozen with cold air circulation inside the tunnel. Okay. Then novel methods of freezing. Number one is high pressure freezing. Use of high pressure promotes uniform and rapid ice nucleation, thus produces smaller crystals. Then dehydro freezing. Dehydro freezing, that means dehydration and then freezing. Food is first dehydrated to a desirable moisture content and then frozen, and it has the advantage of less damage to the plant texture. Then application of ice nucleation and anti-freeze proteins. Ice nucleation protein directly acts as a nucleus, thus causes rapid nucleation and ultimately rapid freezing, while as anti-freeze proteins can retard recrystallization in frozen storage. Then changes during freezing. Loss in texture is the main problem that occur during freezing. Water in intercellular spaces of fruits and vegetable freezes, and ice crystals are formed, which causes adjacent cell walls to rupture. Freezing causes negligible changes to the pigments, flavors, or nutritionally important components, although these may be lost in preparation procedures. Freezing causes death of 10% to 60% of the microbe population, and the percentage gradually increases during frozen storage. Then changes in the frozen storage. Number one is the freezer burn. It is caused by sublimation of ice from the surface of the food into the air inside the freezer. The surface of freezer burnt food appears as dry, grainy, and brownish spots, and the tissues become dry and tough. Another change is recrystallization. This is largely caused by fluctuation in the storage temperature due to the electric shock, or when heat is allowed to enter the freezer, this causes crystals to melt partially. When temperature falls again, large size crystals are formed, resulting in loss of quality. So this will occur due to the no regular supply of electricity. Then chemical aspects. Loss of natural pigments like chlorophyll and flavor in vegetables. The major problem associated with fruits is the oxidative rancidity and the loss of vitamin C due to the action of enzymes. Then oxidative rancidity also cause of flavors. Then advantages of quick freezing over the slow freezing. Ice crystals formed are much smaller, therefore cause much less damage to the cell structure or texture of the foods. In quick freezing, there is a more rapid prevention of microbial growth, and there is a brief exposure of food components to adverse constituents of the freezing. Then no microbial adaptation to low temperatures. There is a slowing of enzyme action, and drip loss is less in quick freezing. Then advantages of freezing. Many foods available in the frozen condition, for example, mccain, peas, sweet corn, etc. Meat products also come in the frozen form. Then good natural color, flavor, and nutritive value can be retained. Texture usually better than from other methods of food preservation. Foods can be frozen in less time, then they can be dried or canned. Simple procedure, it has simple procedure and adds convenience to the food preservation. Now, what is the disadvantages of freezing? Texture of some foods is undesirable because of changes due to freezing process. Initial investment and cost of maintaining a freezer is high because it runs by the electricity, and storage space is limited by how much the freezer will hold. So the conclusion is preservation by low temperature techniques is superior to the other methods of long-term preservation because it is more effective in retaining the flavor, color, nutritive value of food, and moderately effective for preservation of texture. It is comparatively a less time consuming preservation method. So that is enough for the today's session. In exam, you may ask question maybe come like explain the cold storage system and explain the low temperature preservation. So you have to explain both these. And in MCQs there, you may ask like which is the best preservation method. So you will write freezing. Okay. Likewise, questions will be asked in your exam. I hope this session is clear to all. Thank you so much for watching this video.